Hello, everybody. This is Derek. I've got Coach here, and he's ready to go, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Okay. Kind of summing up the other night, obviously it was a special night to have the opportunity to recognize our senior class. And, I thought those guys really stepped up and made plays. I felt that way after the game. I thought watching the video it was, even more true. We were very efficient offensively, especially in the second half. I thought the ball moved well. Thought that we got really, really good shots throughout the game, which is 2 games in a row now where I thought we've really played in sync offensively and very well together. I thought our defensive intensity was good throughout. Maybe not quite at the level it was this past Saturday. I thought we maybe had an extra gear at times collectively. So we've got to try to get that energy level back on that end of the floor. But all in all, I thought we got contributions from a lot of guys, and I think our team has a good rhythm right now at both ends of the floor. Obviously we head into tomorrow's game, be a tremendous challenge. They're playing good basketball. Obviously they had 2 very difficult environments to play in this past week against 2 really good basketball teams. This time of year, we know that we certainly don't take that for granted. Know it's a privilege, and are looking forward to the opportunity to play tomorrow afternoon. Questions?
John, it's Jeremy. You mentioned the championship level intensity with what both these 2 teams are playing for. Have you been a part of something like this in the regular season? With the last game.
Oh, sure. Yeah, a lot of times, whether it's for conference regular season championships or, different games towards the end of the year that have meaning on the conference standings or, no question. We've been involved in those type of games before, and those type of games are fun I think, for players to play in. They're fun for coaches to coach in, and like I said, it's pretty cool to, be playing for things this time of year and to be in that mix. It's pretty neat, and certainly the guys have earned it and, been through a lot of adversity, to get to this point and handle themselves very, very well. And so now we have an opportunity and, to end season 2 strong. We know it's going to be a great challenge. They're going to be trying to end it strong just like we are. I mean, it should be a heck of a game.
Did you have to manage emotions in a game like this, or do you just kind of let them go?
No, we're gonna play. We're just gonna do what we do, and we're gonna play and emphasize doing the little things like we talked about all year. Our game prep doesn't change. How we do things that doesn't change. All that's the same.
John, it's Mark. Malcolm's kind of going through a little tough stretch here, getting his shot to go down. How does he react to that? Does he come see you guys and seek help, or does he just kind of double down on his own effort and try to figure it out? How does he react to that?
We really don't talk to him about that. As long as they're good shots, tough, I don't worry about that. I'm more worried about his energy level and competing on the defensive end, helping us rebound per minute played, doing all those little things that I thought he did really, really well in the Northwestern game throughout. And then in the game against Nebraska, I thought the first half he was just okay, and then in the second half I thought he really picked it up. Thought it was a good sign that he didn't attach whether he was making shots or not to effort plays and his defensive intensity and his ability to focus. I thought he did a great job at inbounding the ball with our press offense late in the game, made great decisions. I thought that was a good, really good step for him.
Thank you.
John, this is Lauren. A lot of talk these days, it seems, about the game slowing down. There aren't as many possessions, and there's talk about even rule changes to affect that. It seems to me that maybe Purdue is right at the heart of that. Are they able to play defense, for example, harder than other people without fouling, or is it what is it about their game that allows them to do that?
Be more specific there, Lauren. Allows them to do...
Well, they just say that for the Purdue-Michigan State game, there was tremendously physical game. And it seems that every time Illinois plays at Purdue, for as long as I can remember, or at Michigan State either, the games are extremely physical, and now there's talk about even changing rules because there's concern about it. Your thoughts about that? Is that true, or is that just imagining?
I haven't heard anything about rules, but I would say that no question that the games between us and them over the 3-year period have been physical. I mean, they have been. I think a lot of games in our league are physical. I think college basketball in general. I don't think it's just exclusive to the Big Ten or exclusive to Illinois versus Purdue. I think that people find ways. It's interesting. Yesterday I was sitting in the training room with the guys where they were doing treatment and rehab, and they were showing the Big Ten Elite special on the 89 team. And the guys were commenting on what the bodies of those players looked like in those clips of games that they were showing. And certainly now here we are, however many years, 26 years later, and you look at the bodies of someone like Nana Egwu or Isaac Haas or A.J. Hammonds or Rayvonte Rice or, Raphael Davis. I mean, those guys are big, strong guys. Yet the space of the court, 94 by 50, is the same. So something's got to give. I just think it's, teams in our league play very hard. They're very well coached. Video has changed over the years, so you're trying to take things away. You probably have more of a beat on that than you used to even 10, 15 years ago, let alone 1989. So, you get all these reports on guy goes left this much, guy goes right, this is his patented move. These are his tricks, and everybody's trying to take those strengths away. Whether it's an offensive scheme, a defensive scheme, or a personnel tendency that you might be aware of on a particular player. So, I just think that, teams in our league are well coached and they defend in our league, and that's not easy. You're playing somebody for the second time, in some cases the third time each season, and, it's hard to score. It's good coaches and good players, and they're trying to take stuff away.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
Hey, John, it's Jim Cotter. With Austin Colbert, and then getting more minutes to play, do you expect him to kind of help bridge the gap inside tomorrow against Purdue Twin Towers?
I'm sorry, I could not hear you. The reception there was very poor.
Okay, sorry about that. Is that better?
No, I still can't hear you.
How's that? Is that better?
There we go.
Okay. With Austin Colbert playing a lot better as of late, do you expect him to kind of help bridge the gap inside tomorrow against Purdue Twin Towers?
Well, regardless of who we're playing, Austin's a big part of what we're doing right now. I think his minutes have been very good here the latter half of the season, in particular the last 10 games or so. And, he always factors in, regardless of whether we're playing, Purdue's 7-footers or any opponent at this point. I mean, he's worked his way into where he is a, major part of our rotation.
Hi, John. It's Steve. Does it just surprise you that, based on your time around the Big Ten, just the very idea that there could be a team that's 11-6 in league play, and there's still all this great debate around it, whether or not it's got a tournament resume or not? Does that just surprise you?
I don't pay attention to the debate. I don't watch all that stuff because I've got better things to do at this point. But yeah, I mean, do I think we've got a lot of tournament teams in our league right now, in my opinion, that are probably undervalued? No question. I think the way Purdue's played, they won 8 out of 9 before this 2 road game swing here that they just went on. And I think they're really good. In terms of the record, when you look at it at face value, if you said to me, hey, a team's 11-6 in our league, going into their last game, hey, John, if that was the case and they were finishing season 2 that way, would you say they're in or out? My guess, normal years, would be that they're definitely in. I mean, I don't see any, that's what I would say. But again, I'm not trying to do the committee's job. That's not my job. So, I know they look at everything holistically, and, I think one of the misnomers is some people get into the deal of how many in a league or this league or that league, or it's not about league. Leagues don't get bids. Teams do. So I know that you just got to trust that they'll look at it for what it is and put obviously the best 68 teams in the field each year. So, but yeah, at face value, when you hear that record, Steve, there's no question. Like, to me, my gut instinct would be that would be, close to an automatic, and certainly in most, if not every year.
A postseason-related follow-up about the Illini. The wins, the so-called highest quality wins, Baylor, Maryland, based on those teams' rankings. But are those necessarily the best games your team has played? What do you think of as sort of the peak performances thus far for your team?
I haven't even thought about that, Steve. I know we played really, really well on Saturday here against Northwestern at both ends, and I thought against Nebraska in the second half to shoot 52% against their defense and move the ball the way that we did, and get to the foul line and shoot the ball that way and have single-digit turnovers. And we played really, really well here the last two games, really well. Do I think we played well against Maryland? Yeah, absolutely. We had to play really well. They're a heck of a team. Did we play well against Baylor? Absolutely. Thought we were really good. Thought we attacked the zone well. I thought we were really, really good in that game. There's other games we played really well too. But I'm more concerned about how we're playing right now. And one thing I do know is I think we're playing really good basketball right now. Now, does that guarantee anything tomorrow at 3:30? No, not at all. You've got to do it again. This is not a deal where it's automatics. You've got to bring the right mindset, the right heart, the right spirit to the game tomorrow, and you've got to execute, and players got to make plays, and you got to play with some toughness.
Thank you, John.
Sure.
John, I got one more. How have they changed since you played them last? I mean, it seems like they've had some other players step up.
Yeah, no question. Octius, I think, is playing at a really, really high level. I've enjoyed watching him here on the clips I've seen at the latter part of the schedule. He's been terrific. I think Raphael Davis has really stepped it up at both ends of the floor. I love his game. I think he's a junkyard dog. I think he plays with a lot of toughness. Obviously Haas was starting in game one. He and Hammonds were splitting pretty much the 40 minutes evenly. Haas is certainly still a major part of what they do, but those minutes have been moved and shifted a little bit towards Hammonds, and now he's the starter. Coming into game one, Kendall Stevens was the guy who was starting for them, and obviously is a great shooter. And now Dakota Mathias is starting at that position. They're still using Stevens. He's still a great shooter, but both those guys can really shoot the basketball. So Mathias is playing more than he was going into game one. Vince Edwards started in game one at the 4, and obviously he's really skilled and really good on the offensive end as a freshman. But in the meantime, they've kind of flipped that. Now they're starting Basil Smotherman. So there's a lot of changes. You're talking about a game that was played in January versus now, tomorrow being March the 7th. Our team has changed a lot. So I think they played really, really well here down the stretch. I felt like we played really well here the last couple games. And, tomorrow at 3:30, ball tips, and, both teams will be going at it.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you. We'll see those of you who are traveling tomorrow in Indiana.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.